Hey everyone, welcome to another live workshop with you today. Live number 5 of the Community Connections Workshop, and I'm really excited that we're nearly halfway through this. I mean, it feels like it's been a blink of an eye, but we've covered quite a lot so far, and I'm really excited about today's one. Today, David is going to be the lead on the session today. David, are you there?
Hiya,
There
Kevin.
he
Hi,
is.
guys.
So Davey's leading this one, and I'm going to do a quick recap. I like to do a quick recap for any of you that have missed it, that are thinking, why do I want to go and look at the replays and all of that? And also so you know what's coming up, because it's really important that we do this. So let me just grab my screen. Here we go. I'm ready, raring to go. Really excited by this one. So I'll share my screen quickly. Here we are. So this is the Community Connection Workshop. We're running 12 sessions and we're on session live number 5. So it finishes on the 23rd of May. So we've got a couple of weeks left, Jack. So what have we done so far? So we've done an introduction to communities. We looked at what they were, how you can start to think about what type of community you want to create first. We then went on to community planning. So planning out the elements within a community that you're looking to add in, how it's going to look, maybe some of the ideas that you want to get involved in. And that's really good. We then went on to the community feature itself within Zenler, because as you know, a big update got released in December last year, and we've had some updates come in this year as well. So it's a really good, robust system now. It's looking easily like it's going to surpass the capabilities of Facebook, and you'll find out why more on that as we go through this workshop, why that's the case. We then went on to Monday, where we looked at public communities, and that's one of the features. Getting each post you put up has a link to it. When it's got a link to it and publicly accessible, it goes into the sitemap, it gets found outside of your community. So a public community, massively powerful. I can't understate just what an impact that can have on your business. If you get a thriving community, you could very, very easily get found super fast for what you're talking about in your community. So the content's important, but also the fact that it's public. Today we've got five private communities. Davey's going to lead that one. I'm not going to spoil it for you, so you can find out what that's about in a minute. We then come on to Friday with Manmeet, and she's going to take us through what a secret community is. So they're the 3 different types of communities you can have within the Zenler platform: public, private, and secret. And they're all quite different. Then next week we really get into the nitty gritty of what a real community is. We start to delve into the leadership of a community. So I've got David back on Monday, and he's going to be talking about communities. I think we might be doing that as almost a dual effort on that one, because it's community leadership and different styles of leadership are really important. And David and I are quite different in the way that we sometimes approach things, but we work on the same team. And how does that type of thing work? So that's going to be a really fascinating one for those of you that are yet to delve into community leadership. And you're with me Wednesday, so this time next week, we're going to look at community engagement. So keeping the flow going, keeping people engaged, making sure that stuff's happening, and how you can do that easily, effortlessly, with absolute grace and demureness. What a word. All right, live number 9. So this will be a week Friday. My mate's going to talk about making money from your community, monetizing a community. How do we do that? How do we make the system work in its entirety? Because Zenler as a platform now is a very capable machine for your business. And having a community, we can tie it in with different elements, different ways of getting people to hand over their money for the benefit of being taught or helped by you and your business. Then we've got live number 10 on the following Monday. So looking at growing your community, how do we grow it? So we start off with X amount of people. How do we get more people in? That will be the basis of that particular session. And then on the Wednesday, to start to round it up, we're looking back with David, looking at advanced features within Zenler. So what other things can we do? What can we talk to each other with maybe a little bit of know-how? Things like putting funnels in there and getting them to do all of this sort of stuff. So that's going to be a really great session for those of you that like tinkering around with stuff, and doing a little bit more advanced stuff. And then on the 2 weeks Friday, we've got, rounding it up, live number 12, Q&A session with the whole team. So we'll do a recap of what's gone on, and we'll have the whole team here for you to ask anything that you want regarding communities. So it's going to be really, really great. So we've got a lot still to cover. I'm really excited for that. But today we're on live 5. Now, if you've not yet signed up for it, the link for the funnel is in the first pinned comment underneath this live. So go and sign up for the funnel. And what that does is it gives you access to all of the replays on one page. So we put it on a replay page and they're all there in order. They go up within, I say the next morning, but generally they're up before that. It just gives us a little bit of flexibility in processing and all of that type of stuff. You can go in there. Any extras that we add in, you can put them in there. You get access to the community we're running in Zenler, into the tutorial site for people going through this workshop. It's our first delving into it properly onto our own platform, and getting people in there interacting, doing stuff. So if you've not yet done that, it could be a really great reason to do it. You'll also get emailed the links and reminders for firstly when we go live on Facebook, and then an hour into it, you'll get the link to Zoom to come and join us on Zoom for a live Q&A session, and that happens on every session. So that's why you need to join the funnel. What more reasons do you need? It's awesome. So you also get to experience this stuff, and I talk about this a lot when we educate you, when we go through some of these workshops and programs. We get you using this feature as a student would use it on your site. And it's really great for you to understand how that works and experience it. So when you're out there looking after your people and they ask you the questions you ask us, hopefully you have more answers than you would have done before that workshop or that live or that experience that you had. So it's a really great way of learning as well. But today, live number 5. Private communities. This is what we're talking about today. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat. So firstly, I'll be on Facebook, and then when you come onto Zoom, I'll be looking after that as well. David's going to take over the presentation now. So I'm going to turn my camera off, shut my mic down, and I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of David to talk private communities. Over to you.
Okay, so hello, Kevin. You're right.
I couldn't hear you, but I can hear you now.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah, mic audio off. Right. Okay, guys, welcome to live 5 of the community connection workshop. So this is all about creating a private community, little bit different to the public one. So Kevin went through all of the public stuff yesterday, and lots of it's pretty much cross-compatible between public, private, and secret, but there are key differences, and that's what we're going to discuss today. We're also going to build it. So I'm going to just show a slide deck, and we're going to run through this really quick. Like you saw yesterday, Kevin set up that public community in less than 7 minutes. So really, really quick. Same applies to creating a private. However, with a private, we've got certain things, different things that we can do that you need to be aware of. One of these is charging. So charging for a private community. Also, what happens with the private community as well, as far as front end, what do people see if they just visit your site? And this is where there is a difference with it. So we're going to jump into my little screen share here, and here we go. So creating a private community, purpose of this session, okay? The aim of this session is to establish a private community, allowing you to control membership. We will create a comprehensive private community together step by step while exploring the various options throughout that process. Okay, so this is private communities. I hope you guys are excited. I already asked in the chat, who's using private communities? Who's on that? You know, tell me, guys, like who's on the edge here? What you don't know whether you want to go with private or secret. You probably got a good understanding now of the public and the advantages of that, but also the disadvantages of the public community. The fact that sensitive information is not a place for a public community. So if we look at private community, Zenler gives you, you know, so much, because it gives you 3 tiers, well, 4 tiers if you count community discussions, which are tied to courses. All right, so it gives you these extra options. But if we look at private community and we were to draw a parallel on that, we would say that a private community would be the same as a private Facebook group that you guys are all in. Okay, that's how you need to look at it. And that's all you need to look at as far as that. So let's move forward and have a look, and ready to learn. And new chicks, my little dog's back. Here he is, and he's ready to learn. And I hope you guys are as well. So are you super excited about this series? I hope you're starting to learn and understand exactly everything, because we're going into so much detail on every little section, and that includes with private communities as well. So let's move forward. And why use it? So why use private community? For the reason that I just said to you. The reason being that you can keep that information private. Let's look at it as security level. Okay, so you've got a front door, and that front door is open. That's a public community. Okay, now you've got an open door, and when you come in, you've got to go through another door, and that door's closed, and that's a private community. So unless someone answers a door or lets you in, you can't get into that private community. So you can't see what's going on inside there. However, if a new user comes to your community, they'll see the public one, and they'll see the posts and the comments, and they can't comment unless they log in, unless they register, but they can also see the private community, but they can't see what's in it. They can just see that it's there. So this can be a really good way. Like if, for instance, you had like health and lifestyle public community where people are posting and they're on in a public, and then inside that they can see on the left-hand side, they can see VIP access, planners and guides community. And that is a private community. They click on it, they try and get in, they ask to join, but you don't let them in because it's private. Okay, so you're controlling who comes into the private community, and you are controlling that. That's the whole point of a private and the secret community, and even the course discussion communities. It's controlled by you more than a public one. Okay, because you're allowing those people to come in there. So private is the second tier. So public, private, a little bit more secure. Secret, very secure. You can't see it unless you're added to that. But Mammy will talk about secret communities when we come to that. So that's why you would use it. You can charge for them as well, as we're going to show later, as I've got everything prepared for you. So the pros of Zenler and its private community feature. So keeps not invited members out, show front end that the community exists, but they can't get into it. Extra level of control from the public, as I mentioned, more of a VIP type experience. Okay, so that's like private and secrets, more that VIP. It's being by invite only, or unless they paid for it, etc. So that doesn't have to be paid for. You can let them into a private community. And like I said, drawing parallels with our Facebook private community, it could be the same as that. You let people in, but it's just an area where they've already probably been in the public and they want to come in and be in that extra warmer area. You know, it might be people you invited. So it's really up to you. So that's the pros of the private community. So what we will not be doing today, okay, we're not build a whole private area. We'll build a whole private area. Sorry, what we will do today. Not what we will not do today, right? We will not build a whole private area. We will not look at the options, okay? So yeah, what we will do today, guys, is we will build a whole private area. We will look at the options, okay? How to charge or add to a course. We're going to look at that as well, because it's an important aspect of private. Looking after your group, staying in touch with your group, and we're going to look at live chat. Anything could happen, as I would try it with one of you. We'll probably try that on the tutorial site. Okay, so live chat's available on the public as well, so it's available throughout, but it's not something that we mentioned last time. So we're going to go and mention that a little bit more now as it's added to the platform. So, guys, right, okay, so questions come in from Sarah Putney. So glad this is happening. I have one of my memberships already, and it's good to know the details. So yeah, exactly. Like you guys coming in, you want to find out about each of the options. I really applaud you all for doing this 12 session live with us, because it does mean that, okay, it takes a lot of time commitment, but it means that you're learning this stuff and you understand it. And people that haven't watched the sessions or one of these could well make really big mistakes going forward. So it's really important that we covered this really carefully so you understand. It's a little bit different to a course. Of course, you know you're going to charge people coming by it. With communities, it's like, well, if you don't get it set up right, then you could cause problems later. If you decide one of your communities, you've let a lot of public people in, and then you decide you want to charge for it, it's a real big pain then. So we want to be off on the right track. And that's why, Kevin, you know, that's why we decided that we were going to do all of this community and run this one with the feature actually on now. Okay, so what we will not be talking about, okay, we're not going to talk about engagement drivers, okay? Kevin covered quite a lot of those, and that's, you know, when I say engagement drivers, I mean different post types that you might want to put up, polls, these kind of things, or you know, answers to questions, these sort of things. So main community settings, we've already covered that, okay? We've already gone through that. We already talked about planning, and Kevin mentioned yesterday about SEO or public community, because all been covered yesterday, so no questions on that, guys. All right, so let's go. So let's do it, the live build. Remember to write notes and ask questions in the live Q&A part. So let's just jump in here now. I'm just going to close this down. We'll be opening this up a bit later, but we're going to jump in and just create our private community. I'm going to show you how quick it is to do that. So I have a little site already. I don't know if any questions come into the chat. So Kevin will probably drop them into the chat there. I'm just going to have a quick look just to see and make sure I don't miss anything out. There will be a chance for you guys to jump in, okay? So you can jump in. You've got all this. Any questions? No questions in here. This is good. Okay. So yeah. All right. So are you with me so far on what I mentioned about the private community? Do you understand the difference now between that public and that private about the security side? It's really important that you understand that basic thing before we build it. So give me a yes, guys, in the Facebook group. Give me a big yes, and then I'll move on. Right. Yeah, good. Okay. Right, fabulous. I want interaction from you. I want you asking questions. Really push me to the extreme. Okay, let's jump in. So we've got this site here. This is a site that if you guys have seen any of the tutorials and stuff that I've done, then you'll probably recognize it. It's the Fit Stay Healthy site. And you're going to see that on this homepage, I've set up this a private community. This is just a placeholder. We're not going to get into this because I haven't set the community up yet. We're going to build that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into my admin dashboard, and I'm going to hit communities here, and I'm going to go to the community area, and we're going to go in here and we're going to build this out. So what we've got in here is we've got our categories here. Kevin mentioned about these the other day, and you can see under course communities, we've got some discussion communities in here, but we want to build another one out. So I'm going to add a category in here. I could put it into one of here, VIP members or course community, but I'm not. I'm going to build a category out here. So inside here, I'm going to call this healthy lifestyle. Okay. And I'm just going to grab a little folder that I've already got, because I'm going to make sure I name everything the same. Okay. So let's call it healthy lifestyle group. Okay. So that'd be my top level. I'm not going to put a tagline or subtitles. I'm going to click it. So you're going to see it's going to appear there. So now we're going to go into add. We're going to go and now add a community. We're going to make it not public. We're going to make it private. So let's change this little icon to something like that. Little cup. That's a cup with a cookie. That's not very healthy, is it? Try fruit. Oh, there you go. Little kiwi fruit. That's good. So let's go in here and call this healthy So I'm going to put something like that. Okay. So healthy living and motivation. So imagine, if you will, that I've got a private community and I want to charge for that. And I want it to be, and that's it. I just want that community, that private community, to be full of posts with people giving their motivational stories, you know, telling how they lost this much weight, how they're eating this, how they're finding out about things, and also that you're adding to it as well. You're adding to it. So you're handing out things like planners, you know, you're doing challenges and these kind of things. So imagine that you had a whole group. So it could be a whole kind of community built around that on a subscription plan. Okay, that's the idea. So putting into practice really easy. We're going to start it by calling it healthy living and motivation. And then we're going to put it into, and you've got to choose this one, the healthy lifestyle group. Okay, choose that category. It's going to drop in under here then. And I'm going to make sure it's a private community. I'm going to say anyone in the community can post, okay, because it's private and it's by invite or they've come in through a course. So requires post approval. I'm going to turn that off. If it become an issue that people were posting and not the right sort of posts were going in there, then I might turn it on, but initially I'm going to turn it off. And that's the great thing about communities inside Zenler. You can actually just edit those whenever you like. I'll just prove that to you now. So I'm now going to click continue. So now I've hit continue. I've created it. That's it. How quick was that? So if I wanted to go in later on, I could edit the community and I could turn the post approvals on, you know, or I could change things in here if I wanted to. Now, if you do change things in here and you've got people in there, don't worry, it will just change within there. It won't throw them out or anything. So now we've got this beautiful little group set up. We can come in here, we can add a nice little cover photo. So I'm going to go in here and I have a cover photo set inside here. I have this one here and I'm going to add it. You notice this is exactly the right size. I will hand out in the chat and in the Facebook group the Canva template for this. Okay, so you can grab it and you can use it just like Kevin did the other day. So there you go. We got something really nice in there. Looks cool. And that is set up. That is it. That is how you do it. So how would you invite people? So let's have a look what happens in incognito when I go into this site and I click on community. Okay. So you want to set your rules in here, your group rules and these things as well. Just make sure you're doing that. So let's go in to incognito window. Just type this in, see what happens, what comes up. So someone who is not part of this sees stuff going on, sees the public feed. Well, that's good. Look, they can read through the public feed post there, can see all that stuff going on. They go to this one. This is, remember, it's private, and you'll see it says here public. Okay, so they can join, they can log in, they can join. Inside here, if we click, you're not going to see anything. So it's community locked. If they try to click in here, they're not going to see anything. They just see this front bit. Okay, got hide members directory. It won't show the members or featured because they haven't got access. Everything's locked. See that? So they can join and then it'll come in as approval, but you let them in. So you control this whole area. And that's what they see front end. So very secure as opposed to public where I can just go in and I can join, or I can from here I can send an invite link out, those kind of things. So it's much more secure area inside here. So you just see community locked, but it shows in here. So you've got the public one and you can see the private ones, but this one also is locked. So these VIP members here, you can't, but you see if people come in and they're part of this public one, they start posting, they're going to be looking over here. What's the VIP members area all about? You know, it's going to raise an awareness. They might even ask on the public group. I see you've got a healthy lifestyle group. What's happening inside there? And you can say, well, that's a paid subscription. Join up here or sign up here. So you can tell them where to sign up and come through. And that's what we're going to look at now. So is that really, really clear for you? Really clear for you? I'm going to check in chat. Those are yes. We have got a 10-second delay from the stream. So is everyone keeping up? Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, so are you all keeping up? Just need to make sure you're clear on that going forward. John, fantastic. Yes, yes. Are you all a clever bunch? Good. All right. Yes. Yes. Brilliant. Okay. So now we need to go a stage further. Now we need to say, okay, so how can we monetize this? How can we actually make money from what we're trying to do here? Now, I know, because I think Rakesh has mentioned this, that eventually there's going to be paid lives. So you paid lives, it's already paid lives, paid communities. So that's going to be a feature of Addy where you can just add a community to paid, but you can still do it now. And it's really easy. And I'm not going to go into how I do it exactly. I'm going to show you what I've done and you should be able to mirror that. So this is the only part you might get a little bit lost, but it's really simple, guys. When I show you, it'll be really clear. So I'm going to go through what will happen and you're going to see them. So let's jump into my screen share again. So I'm in this site. So you can see that on this homepage, I've set this banner up. Okay. Now this banner and this button go through to a course that I've set up. And in that course, as part of the pricing plan, is that community added to it. All right. That's it. That's it. So let me go in, open this up in a new tab so I don't lose the initial page. And we're going to go into courses. So this is the course. This is the course that will charge for a community. All right. So I'm going to click inside here and I'm going to go to pricing. And in pricing, you're going to set up something like, let's say it's £15 a month, right? Reoccurring. It's for the healthy lifestyle community, right? It's my pricing plan. I'm going to edit it. Now I've created that private community, and you've got to create the private community first, otherwise it won't appear. We can then set it monthly, $15. All right. Down here, community. Let's go and pick the community. There we go. So now if someone buys this plan, they will have access to the healthy living motivation community. Yeah, they will have access to this one here because they bought it. So is that clear? You can add a community, a private community or a secret community into the pricing plan. If I set up another pricing plan for like mega VIP, I could give them access to another community if I wanted to as well. So we're going to keep things simple with just one pricing plan. This whole course is set up just to charge people and get them into community at a monthly fee of $15 a month. Okay, that's all it is. So now I click update, that will be applied to that plan. So if people buy this, they will get access to that community. And just before I move on, I want to check again that you guys are keeping up because it's really important that you understand that basics thing. So in a nutshell, we set a course up. In the pricing plan, we connect it to the private community. Is that clear? How are you guys doing with that? Got it? So hopefully you've got it. I haven't got any comments coming in. So Andrew's put, so far, hoping you're going to show us an easy way for, you can ask that. It's all easy, really. You just send an invite link out. Bang, done. There you go. Answered your question. Yes, you have a course. Yeah. So you have a course. You have that pricing plan. And then you can select at the bottom the community you want to be part of. But I know what you guys are thinking. Yeah, but it's a course. So when they've bought it, they're going to go into my course access page and they're going to see my curriculum and all of this stuff. Is that what you're thinking? You probably are. But what I'm telling you is that we don't need any of that. We can delete it all out, all of it out. And that's what we're going to look at right now. So you're going to look at the pages and see how that's done. So let's jump back into screen share and let's jump back into our pages this time. So again, it's a course, so you can send automations out. You can do those things. You can regularly send automations out through the automation that's going to hit those people that are part of that community. Okay, you can still use automations. We're not going to in this instant because they just let straight in. You might send them an email saying you are now part of the community, then send them a direct link. But remember that they've registered, they've bought your course, they've registered, they put their name, their password in, and they jump into, when they jump into their dashboard, they then can go into the community and they can just post, right? So that you need to know. So you can see that, obviously you can see the students in here, and all of those would be part of the community because they've joined via the pricing. But the important thing is the pages. But before I do that, I'm going to jump to the curriculum. You're going to see inside the curriculum, I've got nothing in here. It's empty. Why is it empty? Because I don't want to use it. I just want them to come into the community. Okay. Now, later on, if I decide that I want to put planners in there, you know, content, video content, recipes, I can do that. I can just start enabling these and I can put the curriculum into one of the pages, but I haven't done that yet. So this is a quick way to get people paying and straight into your community, because after all, you might want to put recipes and all of these things directly in the community and not use the curriculum at all. So we are basically deleting everything out and leaving only what we need. So I'm going to go through the pages now so you can see. So the sales page, let's have a look at the sales page in preview. This is our sales page. So it tells you I've created my own price block. I deleted everything out and just created this block, this little button, and this little button goes straight to the checkout page there. So that links straight to the checkout. If I click that, straight to the checkout page. Okay. Inside there, they fill out their details and they pay and they go through. And once they've gone through, so I'm at this stage now, gone from sales page to the checkout page. They then go to the thank you page. Let's have a look at that. So the thank you page is there. The thanks for being a member. Let's go straight to your community and then watch what happens. It jumped now to the course access page. Now, you don't have to do that. You don't have to have an automatic redirect, but that's what I've done. So when you landed on the thank you page, there's a countdown timer set on 5 seconds, enough time to read that copy. After 5 seconds, it redirects you straight to this dashboard, which is the final destination for your users. Okay, so let me just click out there. So I need to show you that. So sales page, set up as usual, delete everything out, little button, go into the checkout page, have a nice little banner at the top, have the checkout, they go through there, hit the thank you page, and I'll show you the thank you page and just show you how the redirect works. So the thank you page is after they bought, and this is the URL that we want to send them to. So I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to open up the thank you page. And in the thank you page, I'm going to show you something. So this is the page that you saw. Now, down here on a white background, in white, is a countdown timer. If I go into the settings here, and I go to style, you're going to see this start to appear. Okay, so all I've done here is I've just put in this countdown timer. Now, if I go to the timer settings, you're going to see that it says 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, expiration, redirect to URL. And then this URL is this URL. So to get it to automatically, so they're on this thank you page, and I want to just automatically send them straight into the course access page. And that's what I've done. And I colored it all white so that you can't see it. So it becomes invisible inside here. Okay. So you just select those colors, have the same base background, and then you've got it. Okay, and then click save. So this now thank you page goes through to the course access page. So let's have a look at the course access page now. The most important page. Again, I've styled it up. You know, most of this, like this top section, I copied the code and I just changed it slightly. It took minutes to do. And this is the gateway to the community. So if people go into the course once they've bought it, they'll see the course they've bought come up, which is this course, and they'll click it and they'll go through and end up at this page. So I wanted this button to go through to the community. So that's exactly what it does. And to get that link for the community page, we just simply choose go to link and we grab the community URL. So I'm going to do that now. Let me just close these tabs down. So I've got this page open. This is the course access page. This is what your students have bought. This is where they come to when they click my courses. They click here, they go into here. Okay, so we need to go and check what the URL is for that community. So pretty easy to do. We're going to go to our communities in here, and we're going to go into this community here. And you're going to see that every time you select a different community, the URL changes at the top. We're going to select that community, Control C to copy it. And then on this button, on this course access page button, and I click it here, we can go to choose action, go to link, and we can drop that in there. And if you want to, you could open it up as a new tab so you don't lose them from this page. Now, this, remember, is the course access page. This is the page that they bought and that they always come to when they click my course. They click that course and they go through to here. So inside this page, you can use it as a way to add other things. So if you wanted to, for instance, you could put your handy recipes inside this page and to have them access to, or you could put them in the community. So it gives you a double chance to get content over to them in another format. So in this page. So if I click save now to that, then you're going to see it will jump to the right place. So if I preview this now, and because that's a page, I say jump in now, it's going to jump me straight into the community. That's how you can do it. So now I've charged people via a course, they're in that community and they go through. So you as administrator, so is that clear? That's pretty, I think that's pretty clear. Sneaky timer. Yeah, you don't have to have a timer, Ellie. You know, like I said to you, you don't need to have a timer. You could just have a button that goes through to that course access page. Okay. The main thing here is to realize on the course access page, when you go in there, you guys might get frightened to delete blocks out, and you don't need to be frightened about it. You just need to know that, okay, so I've deleted everything out. I've now put my beautiful design in there. So now they're on the sales page. The next place they need to go is the checkout page. So you just need to copy that URL and put a button in there and paste that URL into the button. And then they go to the next step. So it's like a funnel, you know, they just go through that funnel, and the final destination is the course access page where you can then put a button going to the community. Now, I could take this a stage further now. So if we think we use the redirect countdown timer on the thank you page to send them to the course access page. Yeah. But how about we have a countdown timer on the course access page on 0 that sends them to the community? That way, they'll just hit that page and bounce straight into the community without having to click anything. So you've got two options there. One, you can use it as a page that you can expand and you can add to. Because if I wanted to later on, and I'll just show you quickly, take 2 seconds. If I wanted to later and I want to add a curriculum in here, I could do that. So if I go in here, for instance, and I decided, do you know what? I really want to start adding stuff into curriculum in the page. I know they've got access to the community, but this gives me more flexibility. Maybe I want to do some audio podcasts or something like that. So I could do something like that, audio podcasts or motivation of the day. So I could click save to that section, and then I could add a lesson in there. And I could drop an audio. I'm not going to drop an audio in, but I'll just drop some text in just for speed. But you can use all of these features now. So you can use quizzes, surveys, branching surveys, lives, you know. And inside here, I can now name this. Let's call this a podcast So this is like the podcast section. Then you could have another section on something else. And then I could save it. Now, at the moment, if we went to the course access page, you're not going to see the curriculum because remember, I deleted it out. But it's so simple with Zenler to add stuff back in. So I'll add this curriculum, this new curriculum thing I put in here back into the course access page. So let's go to pages. Let's jump right down the bottom to the course access page and hit that little edit button there. And we'll have this going in 2 shakes. So now I've got the page up. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put the curriculum block straight in here. So we're going to go to blocks. We're going to go to courses. We're going to shoot down to the curriculum block. Here it is here. You can have the closed version or the open version. I'm going to go for the closed version. Drop that in down there like so. I could change this to extras. So this is after people have bought it. They're going to get access to this stuff after. So you can do this stuff whenever you like. So let's call it extras. Inside here, we could jazz this up a bit and change some of the colors. If we want to, you can make it something like that. You know, you can do what you like really with it. And in there, and now it's part of this. And now I'm going to save it. Let's click save. And now when people hit this page, let's preview, they've now got access to this podcast. So if they open it, if they go to here, they're going to open this up and they're part of this now. You can see I put that text in there. So you can have the best of both worlds. You can start off with your curriculum and think, do you know what? I can keep everything in the community. I can have everything in the community. Just start with that. And then later on, you can say, do you know what? I want to start adding audio podcasts, or I want to I want to do a survey this week. So you could just drop that in there, add it in, get the survey results. And then next week you could say, do you know what? I'm turning it all off again. And you could just turn it all off. So that's how you could do it. You just drop that block in and out. As soon as your students go in there, they're going to see it or they're not going to see it, or there's going to be new content. But it's continually evolving for them. So I think that's a really good thing for you guys to know as well, from that point of view. So how are we doing? Me is brilliant. Okay. Yeah, it's just knowing me, because it's really important that you understand how flexible the system is. You know, that you can add things in, you can add things out, you can use these redirects to redirect to another page. You don't have to use countdown redirects. You could have buttons to make people action something and actually go through. So I've got some stuff coming in from Kevin has posted some bits here from some of us. So Scott's put, what will show on the course page if it's just a community? I think you've seen there. I've formed it out. So I think you've formed. So I was talking about how students can ask you to join. Don't see a way to add a link to the locked page direct instruct. Yeah, we can look at that in a second. So I think you're all happy with that. So, and you can add a private community to course. You already have set up. Yes, absolutely, Garland. So later on, if you just want to, this is where I said, this is where planning is key. You know, I did a whole 2-hour thing on it. Planning is key, because later on, if you decide to make it paid for and be part of a course, there you might have had a mishmash of different people in there that you've invited in or that have joined and are in there for free, and then you start charging people to come in there. It's all right, you can do it with a beta group or something, but if you've got it all organized, then you got it. But yeah, absolutely, you can do that, Garland. You can add it at any point. You can also turn it off. So the pricing plan, you could take the community out of there if you wanted to. So question from Ellie: is there a point where you get compliance on rules and guidelines, maybe on the payment page? Well, that can be, yeah, I mean, that's a really good point, actually. That's a really good point. So maybe your group rules and guidelines could be on that sales page or on that checkout page. Again, Zenler's easy. On all of the pages, you can add new blocks in there. So it's really up to you how you want to do that. Helen Sue, so the timer is just to make them click one time less. Yeah, it is, Helen. It is. It's to guide them through. So it's like, you know, we try and make it as frictionless as possible. So if someone hits a page, they go straight through, and that makes it easier, you know, to go straight through there. If I'd have put 0 time seconds on that thank you page, it would be like straight through. And remember, I could have redirected them straight to community at that point and bypassed the course access page completely. So I don't think you've got to go through all the steps, because once they bought it, they bought the course, you basically can shunt them straight into the community if that's all you're doing. If you just want it as a paid community and you don't want the flexibility of being able to add curriculum items in there as well. So good question. Good question, guys. That's really good. Yeah, I answer. Thank you, Scott. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. That's really good. So let's have a look now at what Angela was talking about with the actually how to invite people in. So it's pretty much the same as everything else. You know, if you saw Kevin's public community one, it's the same thing. You can send people out an invite link and have them come into the group. So you can have members apply. You can still have people try and join, but unless you invite them, they're not going to be invited in. So if I jump into here, for instance, you can have this invite link here. So you can invite this. You can also notice this, Angela, down here, you can invite people by emails. So you can add people from emails in here as well. So you can add a list of emails, comma, separated, and you could bring them in. So if you've got an email list in a CSV format, for instance, and you export it out, then there'll be comma delimited, delimiter on them. If they're comma delimit, then you can put them straight in there and you can add them and they'll go straight in because you've added them from there. The other way is to copy this and send a broadcast out to people. But remember, you're bypassing the charging part then. Yeah, and that's not what we want to do. We want to send them, join the community. It's $15 a month. And then you want to send them to the course. Okay, so you want to send them to the course URL, which is this course here. Okay, so the URL for that obviously is that. So this is then they hit this page. You can, if you want to, you can send them straight to the checkout page. If you said about it inside the email, you might want to send them straight to the checkout page. So when they get the email from you, or when you're marketing it, you send them that link, and then boom, they go, oh no, because I got it turned off. But then they go straight through to that page. Okay, so that buy page, and then they can then buy it. Okay. So they buy it and they come in. The whole point of this private community is we want to be charging for it, okay, when we're looking at it now. But if you want it as a private community for free members, then that's a different thing. So you can get them in there. But you can add people to the community. Just saw it in there. You can just invite or you can add them in, okay. Again, management of this is all controlled by the management part over here. So you'll see member requests come in. And I've got a few in here, but you can approve or decline these coming into here as well. So hopefully that is really clear for you guys. I'm going to jump back into Facebook, see what you're saying. The key is for them to connect with me, not for me to invite them. Yeah, absolutely, Angela. I think it's like if you've got it, because if you've got approval turned off, you've got to go in and approve. I think like for a public community, certainly, because I see a public community more as like a lead magnet, okay? And you're getting people in there and you're telling them, not over the top, you're not hard selling them, but you're trying to get them to buy something. That's the whole goal, isn't it? Getting them to buy something. Yeah, so basically the same experience as a student. Yeah, and I would guys definitely test it. So go into there, go through that process. You could set yourself up with 100% off coupon. Just check that you're going in there. Remember also, if you don't appear in there, see under your management settings that you haven't got approval turned on. If you've got approval turned on, then under your settings, then you're going to need, like I have in this one, let me have a look. So under manage, if I've got that required member approval, then I'm not going to appear in there. So you're going to have to jump in as admin. You're going to have to approve you as a test student and let you in. If you turn that off, they'll come straight in. So be wary of that. I lock it all down. I have member approval because I don't want to And you probably might want to hide the members directory as well, so other people aren't seeing other people's names. That can be a good option that we've added there. So that's good. So, but to actually set it all up and to make it look really cool is great. And then you can start posting in here. You can set your rules as the initial one, or your guidelines, rules, guidelines. You could, as Ellie said, you could put that into the checkout page if you wanted to, or your sales page. These are the rules. If you don't agree to them, don't purchase, that kind of thing. Yeah. But I think, you know, you're not going to be really hard with your rules, are you? You're going to want to try and get people in. So your group rules, once they're in the group, are the group rules. They're paying in there. So in something like a healthy living and motivational group, you're not going to have people come in there and be really negative and things. There might be people that are sad because they've gone off track and these kind of things, and other people will lift them up. But there's not going to be people going in there and being abusive, because if they are, it's like, get out, have your money back, I don't want to see you. You know, it's just, you don't want that sort of people in there at all. So you set the rules yourself. Okay, so hopefully that's really clear. So it's not, you know, there's public community and then there's private community. The only real difference here is that the private community has got this layer of protection, because you can still see it. So if someone comes into this community, they're going to see it. So what you're going to see on the next live that we do, live 6 that Mamit's holding, what you're going to find inside there is that she's talking about secret community, and that does not appear on the page, so you won't see it. Even the secret community setup, you're not going to see it here, but Mamit's going to tell you all about that anyway. Yeah, definitely make sure you set up your group rules, as you can see in there as well. So hopefully that's really, really clear for you. So I'm going to jump back and finish off my little slide deck. But before I do, I want to ask, is there any questions in here? We're going to open up for Q&A in a minute anyway. So that's going to come in about 8 minutes time. You guys will be able to jump in. You'll get an email and you can jump in live with me if you want to. But if there's any questions inside the group, I'm quite happy to answer them for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to check some of the messages. Kevin's doing an amazing job putting all these posts in here. Angela, I love that I can invite folks, but my question is this. If someone stumbles onto my private community and wants to get in, how do they connect with me without searching for the course? Can I tweak that locked page? Not at the moment, no, Angela. But if you've got a public community and maybe one of your featured posts is join my private community, then you can use that as your board. Or you could put that in your cover photo at the top. So if you've got your nice little cover photo going at the top, let me screen share again. Here, you could put here, this is a private community, and because remember the locked comes up here, so you still have that chance to put it inside there so people can visually see it. So that's a couple of ways that you can do it. Okay, but if they want to connect with you, they're probably, and they really want to get in there, want to find out more about it, they're going to join the public community. And that's why we say to you, the public communities are key here. You can drive so much stuff coming through. There'll be questions coming there, and then you can send them too. So hopefully that's going to give you an option there to do it. You can put your website in there as well, so you make sure that it's at the front page, like you saw on the Zen pop-up site. All I did here, let me just jump to it now, and you can see it. Let's get rid of that. There we go. So I set up this big banner in here. So if you had your logo on the cover, they would find it. But if they popped on your site, they would also see it in here, and they would click that, and then they would go through to the checkout page to buy, and then they would be in that way. So yeah, don't leave it, Angela, for people to find a private community, because it doesn't get listed on the search engines. You want to be, if they've stumbled, how would they stumble upon something that's private? It'd be very unlikely. They would probably more likely stumble on your main website, and then from there you'll have a nice big banner like I've got in here where people click through and buy, and then they're part of the community anyway. Yeah, hopefully that's clear for you. So Me's put, so if they buy the course, they still have to wait for approval. Only if I've got approval turned on. Yeah. So if you turn that off, then they don't have to be approved. Is that all right for you? I'm talking member approval as well, because in the settings you've got require post approval. You can turn that on and off as well. Here, actually, in the community, if I go here and edit community, you can see requires post approval. You can turn that on and off as well. But at the moment, Zenler's got a global setting that does it for everything. So I've got it turned on, and that applies to all of the communities. Yeah, I've talked to Rakesh about that as well, that it should be per community. And the feature will probably go in at some point. But at the moment, you either turn that on or off. It's really up to you. But you can, if they're coming through this private way, they're paid, they've paid for it. Yeah. So you don't need to, you could probably turn it off if you're working that way, and you could turn post approval on. So that would then take care of the public part of the community. All right. Just play around with it, but really understand that you can turn this stuff on and off as you go. So don't feel that you're stuck once you lock anything in, you can't move forwards, because that's not the case. You have the ability to turn stuff on and off as you go through all of this stuff. So that is it. So I'm going to just have a look in the group. Exactly. Only if you set it away. It's your choice. Yeah, Scott. So yeah, but it would be nice to have that little finesse of being able to turn approval on per community as opposed to the overall big picture. Okay, I'm always pointing things like this out. Like me and Kevin drive Rakesh crazy, probably, because we're always saying, yeah, but you do this, you should do that, because you can control on that. So it's only so. Well, I mean, because like the education team, we are like we shout out what we think that you would like as well. So that's what we try and do. We look at ourselves as like the front people for you to try and make these things happen, and sometimes really try and push our points across. So oh, John, good to see you. Yeah, take care. Yeah, granular settings. Yeah, exactly, Scott. I'm sure this is coming. But we're going to jump to our slide deck now, because that's it. That's it for private communities. Pretty easy, and you're going to notice even with the secret one, there's a slight different change, but everything is exactly the same when Mamit's showing you. So and this is built off of the public one that Kevin did a good job on, and I needn't do too much. So just say it just shows there, and you can just charge it for a course. That's it. So I'm going to do my slide deck now for my presentation. You guys should in 2 minutes time be dropping in. You'll get an email so you can come into the chat, into the actual Zoom session. If not, we're nearly finished. So I'm going to talk about some features that are coming up into the community. Some of them are amazing, absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to do a present of this, and we will look at it now. So I'm not giving anything away. Rakesh has already mentioned these things. We're going to have polls. So these are upcoming features that are going to be added to the community. One is polls. We're also going to allow you to put an about section as well. So you can put about what the community is about you, almost like a bio. We're also going to have gamification. So gamification is going to be on there. Leaderboards. So you're going to have leaderboards, so people will know that they've done that many posts, this many posts, so you can build up leaderboards as part of like the gamification. Live streaming, massive one. So the live streaming is going to be awesome, because it's going to be a game changer. And at that point, because for you guys that have mentioned it more than once, why are we doing it inside Facebook when Zenler has its own community? Because we can't live stream easily. We can, but we can't live stream easily into the Zenler community. Okay, and have this kind of interaction where you guys can jump in. So live streaming is a massive one. We are really pushing this one. email digests as well. So you can send out these email digests, and there's more stuff coming as well. So this has already been mentioned by Rakesh. So are you guys excited about these little extras that are going to be added in the platform? Hopefully you are. Hopefully you're super, super, super excited as we hit 3 o'clock. Yeah, super excited. Fabulous. Also, maybe tell us what you would like in there. That might be a nice one. Tell us what you would like in the actual communities. What sort of features? Remember, we've already dropped live chat in there. That's huge. So that would be an interesting one to find out what you guys think about that. So what would you like? What would you like to see? Yeah, so me's excited. Kevin's excited. Yeah, so am I. We had a little bit of a sneak preview, and me and Kevin were like, oh, so that's very good. Yeah, so very exciting. Ellie's excited by it. That's really good. Good, guys. But what would you like? Is there anything that you think, do you know what, that would take it another level, or that would be really helpful for my business? It'd be just interesting to know. I mean, we kind of covered everything that you can do inside Facebook. A link for folks to join the private, Angela. A link for join the private community from the locked page. But I just told you, you know, you could. I see, but if they sign up and they can get in, they can sign up and get in. But yeah, but you probably want to charge for it and send them through that way anyway. So anyway, right, okay. So I'm going to move on. I can see you guys jumping in. Good to see you, Angela. Good to see you, Ellie. Scott's in the house as well. Fabulous. Good to see you all guys here. We are fairly near the end now. So what I'm going to do is just going to finish off with a little bit. And this is the homework, right? So got a little bit of homework for you guys to do for this. It's really simple one, but it's good for us to get what you're saying. So I'm going to just show this now, and we're going to jump straight into the homework page once I've gone from there. Let's go and do this. So homework, post a video to the community, so to the Zenler community, okay, which you're part of. So Kevin, can you drop the link to the community, the tutorials community, because I'd like it to appear on there. If you're not a member of it, you don't want to, you can always post it to the Facebook community as well. Okay, so I'll give you the choice of doing either of those. So that's the homework. So I'm going to show you an example now of what we would like. Really, really short, really, really easy to do. You can post it and you can post comments. You mentioned your company as well. So I'm just going to show you a little sample of that right now. So I want to achieve with my, for instance, dog training business, a growth of at least 100 new community members by the end of May. This is my task and my goal for this month. So there we go. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to now get motivational pieces from you. So things that will motivate you. So if you say like the end of June, I want 50 new people that I don't know in my community, or I want at least 50% of my members on my site in my community by the end of May, by the end of June, just put it out there. Put it out there. And if it happens, or let's say when it happens, not if, let's say when it happens, you post on the group, I did it. Okay. What this will do is this will just change things for you. If you start putting it out there and saying, this is what I'm going to achieve, I want to achieve this by this date, it will happen for you. You can make this stuff happen. So do that. Do the video. If you guys don't want to make this stuff happen, don't do a video. All right. So it's up to you. If you want it to happen and you want to make it happen, tell us and it will happen. So that's what you need to do. right? You need to put that onto Zenler community or onto the Facebook group. Ideally in the Zenler community, because we're trying to push that. We're at this kind of mid stage before the live stream comes in, and we'd really like you to push it across onto there. So that would be super, super cool. And as usual, I'm going to ask you for a Trustpilot review. If Kevin could whack that into the group. If you're loving this workshop series and you're learning stuff, then talk about it. If you love the community so far and what capable, especially you new guys, a lot of you regulars have already done lots of reviews and things for us. But if you've never done a review for us, it'd be really, really cool, because then it pushes the platform up. More people see it and think this is a really good platform, and then they're trusting in people's honest Trustpilot reviews. So it's really, really important for us. And yeah, Ellie's done a few of them. So that would be really, really cool. That kind of is the end of this presentation, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. There wasn't too much pressure there. I know I got a little bit like courses, pages and all this stuff, but it's really easy. You need to understand it's a really versatile system. So I am done. Over to you, Kevin.
I'm back. Well done. Good session. So yeah, really, really clear. I think a lot of value going through that one. So if you are looking to do a private community, you now know what to do, how to do it. And if you're looking to do a paid one, you know a couple of different ways on doing that as well, which is really great. I think what I would say is I think private communities don't have to be paid. They can be free. So it's not a requirement, it has to be paid for. So if you want a private area but still keep it free, you can. Now, why would you want to do that? Maybe you're talking about sensitive information, stuff that you don't want indexed, or trying to foster conversations in a more private way. And there are groups, we see it in Facebook all of the time. Otherwise, private groups on Facebook wouldn't exist, right? So it happens all of the time. So if you are in that type of environment where you're thinking to yourself, you know what, this stuff just cannot be out in the public domain, but I don't want to charge for it right now, then you can still have a free private community. And the same with Secret, you can have that free as well if you wish.
Yeah, I think I cut in there, because if you're going to have sensitive information, please, guys, if you're thinking about that, don't create the private one. Create the secret community, because it's completely sealed off. But private community for some sensitive subjects is definitely okay to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so it goes back to the original thing that we were talking about, is understanding the people coming in, what you're going to be talking about, and what you want the purpose of that community to be for. But you do have to be clear to your members what level of access people have to your community. So if it is a public community, and I think this needs to be really clear from the get-go, this is a public community. It can be found in the search engines. This is a private community. There is a level of security, but it's not 100%. And this is a secret community where nobody will ever see it unless I let them in. So you have to be really clear about that. And you lot should be really clear on what those 3 levels are by now. I think we've covered that quite well. So
yeah, that's the whole point of it, isn't it, really, Kevin? That it's okay. We can do in a 2-hour session, we can show you everything to do with the communities. But I think it's really important that we were doing this 12 session one and focusing attention on each one, because it's so important that people set it up properly and understand it.
Yeah, 100%. I've just realised that I've not allowed people to come on camera and start their videos, so I'm just doing that now. Oops.
I don't know if any of you got any questions.
Hey, Ellie.
You got a question, Ellie?
No, you're good.
Good.
Just showing up.
Oh, that's good. Always good to see you.
And remember as well, I know within Zenler we do have things like tutoring companies where they're teaching teens and under 18s and stuff like that. And I think this is why it's so important to have things like hiding the directory in those situations and not allowing the chat between members going on and stuff like that, because there is a safeguarding element to that that you will all obviously be aware of anyway. And you can now promote that you have a community, because you couldn't do this on Facebook. On Facebook, you can't turn that level off. But in our communities, you can say, oh, right, okay, I want your students to come in here, we're teaching them all English or whatever it is. And these are what the parameters we've put in our community to keep your children safe, right? And things like that. So, you've got to understand your purpose behind what you're doing these communities for, and then adapt it. And there's not many community areas that allow you to do that, to have it that secure. And it was one of the things I remember when Rakesh first mentioned upgrading the communities, and I did say to him, you've got to have the ability to not let them chat amongst themselves without you knowing about it, and to hide the directory for things like that, because that is a safeguarding thing, and people will not use this if in those circumstances if you don't have it. And well, we've got it, so it's great.
Yeah, I think it is a key one as well. I mean, the same thing, Kate. That's why some of you guys use webinar. So you want anonymous. You don't want people showing up in there. You don't want their names and things showing up in there. So you said that's why the webinar thing was done. And of course, they mirrored that across into the communities as well. But we know a lot of you deal with very sensitive subjects, so we're very aware of that. And you can see that's reflected in some of the big features that we bring out.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see an alias feature go in there,
I
where
would
people can
anonymous,
put an
like
alias in rather than their own name.
yeah, yeah.
I think that would be quite cool, because if you're dealing with people maybe in recovery from substance or alcohol abuse or something like that, they might not want their full name. Even if you're dealing with people in your community that are dealing with legal issues or stuff like that, they won't want to use their name. But obviously, as an admin, you need to know it, right? Because they're coming into your environment. But in a community, they can work under an alias. Facebook do it under anonymous. I hate anonymous. When you do it, the admin still sees what their name is, who's posting it, right? So you still have that level of control. But I think just having anonymous on it is a bit weird. I don't like it. I would much rather people have an alias that they can use and be under. If that's that type of environment, if people feel safer and more secure doing it that way.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you could change when you actually register and do these things. You could use a different name. So because
But
no,
then that's the name for the whole account, isn't it? So that's what the admins would see as well.
yeah, you could, but I know it's a pain, but you could go back and change it later and update your account. But it is.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, it would be good to have that feature, that toggle switch in admin. But that is something that Zenler are looking at as well, because currently we're looking at you and features. And it's something that Rakesh mentioned the other day, is where we need to look at also more about what the student's experience is about as well. So it's their end as well, what they're seeing their end. So although we're doing a lot for you, we're trying to do a lot for your users as well. And I guess that's one of the things that could be really, really good to put in there. Have you suggested that, Kevin? I'm not even sure.
I'm going to suggest it. I'm going to quickly type a message to Rakesh and tell him I think aliases would be cool. And a few people have said that would be good for their line of work as well. Um,
The
And I
revolution.
think the whole thing, I started this workshop off talking about, course creators have to evolve, and having a community is part of that evolvement. And you're right, the user experience, if you've got no students and no students paying you, then you've got no business, you've got no courses to sell. Therefore, you're not a course seller, and therefore you're not a Zenler user, because you've got to pay for it somehow. So we have to remember the end user, which isn't, you're like our middle user, but the end user is the students that you all bring in. They're the ones that get to see it for the first time, learn from it, experience the environment. And it's just as important for them as it is for you guys, as the ones creating the courses, the teachings, the sessions, whatever it is you're doing in here, and getting that right.
Yeah, and to get them rewarded as well. I mean, that's the whole thing of the leadership, the leaderboard, and the gamification side of it. It gets your students like, oh, I'm top today, you know, this kind of thing. Oh, I've got this badge today. So it's something that you can access it and see it your side, but it's something just for them, and that can keep them coming back and engaging more in the posts. And you'll notice, like in this session, what I was trying to do is I was trying to ask you to giving you questions as I was going through it to try and drive engagement on the Facebook group. So all of these little things that we're doing in these lives, you should be trying to take note of those as well. And when we can, we'll point them out to you, such as the review. Like, do you guys, do you ask for this when you're running your lives? That you can put these things into a private community if members are taking your course. These are all things that you should be doing. A lot of people don't do it. I know a lot of people that will not ask people, like, say how good I am on my, they won't do it. They just, because they're like, no, I can't ask that, I can't ask that. But you should ask that. If you're helping people, you should ask that. If they turn around and say, no, you're terrible, then that's a different thing. But
good. Ellie's made a good point as well. Nothing's really secure on the internet. If people want to screenshot stuff and all of that, yeah, I get that. Let's face it, our phone calls that we think are private one-to-one have been listened to for years and years and years. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's fact. So I agree with you, but you have to manage your own environment your way. And if you've got a situation where you're covering very sensitive stuff that if it got out of your community would cause somebody an issue, then you have to make sure that the members that are in there, if they're all in the same boat, you probably, in most cases, won't ever have an issue. It's only if you let the wrong people in.
Yeah. And the other thing about this, of course, is that it's certainly more secure than Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And hell, Facebook take all your stuff anyway and plaster it everywhere, wherever they want. Right.
Yeah, you're targeted. But it's like also, like, if there are really sensitive subjects, you can also use in the community, you can set those people up into the live chat. You can have one-on-ones with those people, and then you can delete those chats afterwards if you want to delete that information.
Zoom call.
Yeah, or Zoom call, whatever you like. But if you got that live chat, so do you want to talk about it now? You can just jump them up. Or let's set a session up, come into the community. I'll set up a live chat with you at 4 p.m. BST time. Let's chat about it and just do it all through the live chat. And then at the end, say, don't worry about any of this. Your information will be deleted, and delete the chat out. Bang, done. So it's very secure. I love the way you've got this instant messaging now going on inside the communities, because live chat's part of it.
You were going to do a demo of that, David?
Yeah, I was going to do a demo of it, but you know what? I think I'm going to hold that, and we'll do it in the advance. I've got some ideas.
Okay, then. Somebody always asked about voice notes within the chat feature in the community, because we can do voice notes, can't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't really talked about that.
Rakesh was talking about it on his features day.
Yeah.
So all you do, guys, is hit that recording. I can show you now. Let's jump into the tutorials.
It's just voice notes, I know, are becoming increasingly more popular, on things like Teams, on WhatsApp, and all of these things. Right? David's notorious for it. Right? Why type 10 words when you can leave me a 3-minute voice note? Right? This is David's mantra in life.
You're doing it now.
I know I am. But they are becoming real. When I saw that in there, I've got to say I was a little bit happily surprised, because I didn't think it was coming in, and I looked at it and I'm like, that's really cool, because so many people like to voice note now.
Yeah, it's a really. I'm going to share my screen a second, then just show you. So can you see that? You're all okay?
Yep.
So inside here we have bits that I've got Kevin in there. Kevin, you might want to jump in. I'm going to put you under pressure, jumping, because you're here. So inside here, I've got this little button. Now, what you might get when you hit this button for live chat is you might get a pop-up here. See, this says this. So you can allow while visiting the site. Don't click never allow. Otherwise, you won't be able to do your voice recording. Okay, you'll need to go in the settings and do it. If you go allow for this time, it'll just do it for while the browser's open. All right. Or if you do allow when visiting the site, then it shouldn't pop up again. So it says microphone in use. It's got it. So if you see now, it's recording my voice note. So if I click that and I click send, it will then send off to Kevin. And if I hit it again, I can just talk. I can talk normally, and then I can just hit that little thing and click it off. What I love about this live chat area is that you can use multiple things. So I can go in here and I can record something like this. Then I can click this. And before I send it, I can go, oh, do you know what? I think I'll add an image in there as well. And, you know, under there, I might add another image under there like that. So I can use multiple formats. I could stick a YouTube URL. Now I click it and the whole lot goes up in one post. I love that. Multiple media types, including video, all in the same post. You're active, Kevin. You're going to reply to me.
I'm stuck.
Your computer might have exploded. He's got everything open. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. Oh, no. Oh, see, Kevin's now on here. He's crashed his machine by telling him to do that. So he's put my Zoom is crashing. So this is really cool. So what he's doing is he's going to jump out and he's going to jump back in again. All right. But we're live. We're live here. So I can say, don't worry. In your own time. So I can put that back to him. And then he should hopefully jump back in. And I could even share that Zoom link with him as well if I wanted to. So is he coming back? Let's see. Let me just go and grab this. Or we lost him. We might have lost. Oh, there we go. So what's he put?
Yeah, my Zoom is crashing and it's made a noise. So I can talk to you here, but I can't see anyone on Zoom.
So that live chat, that is perfect. We couldn't have planned that. So he's crashed out of Zoom and we've got a backup here. And I've got Rakesh is in here as well. He's saying hello. So it's all going on. Now, remember in the live chat area, you can add people as well. So if I've got someone, we've got Carol there. Carol's in there. Inside here, this one with Kevin, I could add one here. We could turn that to start a group chat. And I can add someone else. So we've got Ellie. Ellie's in here. I'm going to see if I can. Is that you, Ellie? Which one's you? No, it's not you. Ah.
I'm having trouble logging into my tutorials for some reason.
I've added you to this one now. Are you? Yeah.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
See there? It's amber. That means that you're not online yet.
Right.
So when you go online, that will turn to green. And then
You know what? I could do it on my phone.
You can try it. If that's you, someone else. Kevin's not dropped back in yet. He might be in here. I need to just check. I'm going to stop my share a second. Let's give him the jump in, Kevin. And this is another really good thing. This is why it's good to have a co-host. If something like this happens, because I was co-host, it's now made me host. And that is really good, because if I wasn't co-host and he'd have dropped out, then we would have dropped out completely, which is also a good thing. So, guys, have we got any more questions in the group? No, you all right? Okay, well, I think Kevin's probably having problems, so I'm going to end the session. Right, on Friday at 2 p.m, we have Mammy, and she's going to be covering secret communities. So that is secret communities happening on Friday. And that should be really interesting because, like I said to you, that's why I said stop don't do anything. Don't start. So if you've got like a sensitive subject to any of those things and you're thinking after what I've just told you, oh, do you know what? I'm going to do that as a private. I tell you now, stop. You need to know about all of those three types: the public, the private, and the secret. And then, of course, we need to talk a little bit about the course discussions as well. So communities that are set up with inline discussions. And I want to cover those things inside of the advanced things that we're going to talk about later in session 11, I think, or it might be squeezed into something else. But we got a ton of things to do. I can't wait to do my next session, which will be the leadership one, because that'll be really good. So controlling your communities and all of those things, that'll be a really good one to do. And I'm especially looking forward to the advanced ones, because I'm going to show you some really cool things that you can do with your community. So streaming into it and these sort of things, and how you can tap into lots of different things, how you can create your community so it looks better as well. So all of these sort of things I'm going to be doing. So guys, Kevin's not back in the house. He's having problems. So he's winding his computer up for next time. So I'm going to check out now and have a great rest of the week. See you soon. 2 days time, we've got Mammy on. Thank you so much for joining us live. Remember, all of these lives, we're going to be turning each one into an individual blog post as well. And we'll send you information out on that. And if you have, if you're registered, you're obviously going to get a reminder of all the things that are going on. So we'll give you a reminder to the replay, to where the replay links are. They'll be up about 2 hours after the session finishes. We're also going to probably add a few extra things in there for people that have registered. So there might be a few little extra things that you can grab, especially after the advanced feature. I'm going to put quite a few things on there that you can grab, Canva templates, this sort of thing. So it's be super. So you guys that have followed us all the way through, and for you new guys that have just started watching this series, we are on live 5 of 12, and have a great week. And I'll speak to you all and see you all very soon. Hopefully Kevin's okay. No more voice messages. See you later. See you later, guys. Good to see you. Bye.